The email came to WKBN on October 1st. A small group of Mahoning County residents calling themselves Citizens for Responsible Spending were asking people to turn down the renewal levy on the November ballot for the public library of Youngstown in Mahoning County. It's rare for people to publicly oppose levies and even rarer for renewal levies. So First News anchor Stan Boney investigated what the group had to say and then took their issues to the library's executive director.
Poland Township's Debbie Taylor and Tom Zamry are two of four people behind Citizens for Responsible Spending.
My property taxes went up $500 this year, and I don't have that expensive of a home.
Well, the first clue that something was wrong is when I looked at the financials that Tom had provided.
What Zamry had were annual reports and tax returns of the Public Library of Youngstown and Mahoning County, all public documents, which Zamry says shows the library system does not need the $10 million a year that its renewal levy on the ballot will generate, and he wants people to vote against it.
We're not saying put the library out of business. We're saying get back to being a library.
I find it ethically abhorrent that they ask for more than what they need.
It took us a bit aback.
Amy Pfeifferich is the library's executive director. She says the levy generates $10 million a year, about half of the library's annual budget. If it fails, some of the 14 branches will have to close.
I'm sure we would. If it was gone permanently, absolutely.
The Citizens Group has four reasons why the renewal levy should be defeated. First, the library is sitting on $42 million in investments that they say could be used for operations.
Any entity that's responsible should reevaluate that and lower people's taxes when they can.
I would say it's partially inaccurate.
Yes, said Pfeifferich, the money is invested and earning interest, but it's used to construct and repair buildings without taking loans and to maintain technology.
So that as we're planning for the big projects, like the upcoming Strategic Facilities Master Plan project, we know we can pull that money as projects get added to our next year's slate.
Second, the Citizens Group calls the $27 million to renovate and expand the main library, quote, most egregious.
What did you spend? $27 million. That's 3 years of Mahoning County property tax revenues on one building.
Pfeifferich says the expansion has allowed the library to host large events and prove to people its viability.
And they realize that this is a huge quality of life issue and a positive economic development force.
My interview with Amy Pfeifferich took place in the new Culinary Center, which the Citizens Group questioned was necessary.
They call it culinary literacy. This is how they're getting away with this. It's not what their mission is.
We have children coming in learning how to follow recipes, right? That is STEM skills. They're learning fractions and they're learning ratios.
Which leads us to the Citizens Group's third issue, what they call mission creep, where the library has taken on non-traditional library projects like the Culinary Center.
And we've seen too much of this in this country, is mission creep of government. And we've got to stop it when we can.
I disagree with them 100%.
Pfeifferich said they have a program that feeds children because they found that many spend hours in the library without eating. They also employ a social worker because some of its patrons have mental issues. The Citizens Group also has an issue with 2 electric vehicle charging stations at the main library.
How an electric car charger promotes literacy is beyond me.
Pfeifferich said the chargers cost the library a minuscule $700 a year and were installed to support the community.
All the conversation that we were hearing was Voltage Valley, right? We are an automotively driven community here.
The fourth issue of the Citizens Group, the 15-member Library Board of Trustees, is not accountable to an elected official. When a board member leaves, their replacement is decided by the remaining board members.
I was shocked by the idea that there was absolutely no governmental control over the library.
They're accountable to nobody.
By not having political appointees on the board, it allows us to be more responsive to the public and to stay out of the way of the political winds.
Pfeifferich said all the trustees' meetings are open to the public, and putting a levy on the ballot every 5 years makes the library responsive.
And one of the reasons I stay at this organization is because of how accountable we are to the community.
I think they should be involved with what a library is traditionally responsible for, which is lending books and promoting literacy.
Should the levy fail, it'll be back on the ballot in May and again next November if needed. The Citizens for Responsible Spending did not send the same documents they sent to the media to the library, and Amy Pfeifferich was disappointed they did not come to her first. In Youngstown, Stan Boney, WKBN 27 First News.
Hi everyone, I'm Lindsay Watson. Thanks for watching the WKBN 27 First News YouTube channel. If you want more video news, subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the WKBN 27 First News app for breaking news alerts.